This is day 2 of working on my sketch of Tess. Now, I'm not actually copying this particular photograph. It's a reference. I have my dog here sitting in her bed watching me, so I'm referring to my dog. The photograph is there to show you what my dog looks like. I test the ink out on a bit of scrap paper before I put it onto my watercolour paper. This is beautiful Fabriano Artistico 640 gram artist watercolour paper. It's 100% cotton, acid free, and it is just beautiful to work on. Now I intend to add some water to this later on, and the ink that I'm using, it is the Montblanc Oyster Grey, and it has a warm undertone. It comes across as a dark grey. I'm applying it over the black ink that I did in the last video I created. So I'm working through this sketch in 5 tones. The darkest dark went on first, which was the black, and now I'm using a medium dark. And as I said, this is the Oyster Grey. My dog is not grey. She's a more, as you can see, an apricot Cavoodle. But the shadows, I will be using both brown tones and some violet tones and these grey tones to put the medium tones in. So I'll be working through this in various sections, showing you different inks, because this is the 30 inks in 30 days, which is a practice that a lot of us fountain pen lovers and fountain pen ink lovers will do. Whenever we have a month that ends in 30 days, we do a 30 inks in 30 days challenge, and it's a great way of trying out some of those inks that might have been sitting in the back of my drawer and not used for some time. Now, the pen that I'm using is a new one that I have just bought secondhand. Well, it's new to me anyway, and it's the Lamy Studio, which is my favourite studio use pen. It's not too expensive. This one has a lovely gold nib, a medium nib. It's handling beautifully, and it's in the piano black, which is a lovely shiny black. I love this pen. It's easy in my hands. I have no trouble gripping it, and I don't have pronounced fingerprints. So a lot of people find smooth pens slippery in their fingers. I can manage these pens really well. Pressing very lightly, where I just want to imply a little bit of shading, but I don't really want lines. I just want to press shading. So I flick this pen extremely lightly across the paper. The paper has a little texture, so it will pick up parts of the ink print onto the higher points of the paper. If I don't press down hard, then I'm just getting this rough, almost dotty effect into the paper of the grey, the Oyster Grey. If I press down harder, I'll get a distinct line. In my first video where I painted the black parts of the sketch, I talked about my dilemma as to what to buy for next year's art journals, and I talked about how you can save money if you can buy the seconds, where the seconds of the journal doesn't affect the quality of construction of the journal, but it could just be a dirty mark or a smudged line. That's the type of thing that you can cover with a sticker if you're not an artist, or if you're an artist, you can draw an illustration over it. There's a huge saving of money if you can get a quality second. Well, that very evening that I talked about not knowing what I was going to buy, one of the retailers that I've often purchased journals from, that I know makes a good journal, they had these A5 and B6 size journals for around $5, between $4 and $5 they were, and that was about a quarter of the normal price or under. And well, I bought a stack of them. I bought one of each type. About $100 spent in all, and I have quite a lot of journals to work on, and they're not just for me. I'm thinking for that kind of outlay, I can afford to make some lovely gifts for people. I can take these plain blank journals, and I won't necessarily turn them into dated journals. I'll just do some illustration in them and address them as from me to the person I care about that I'm giving them to. Maybe write out some of my favourite pieces of poetry into the journals and leave a lot of blank pages, and they can do what they like with them. And I'm not trying to be lousy with my gift giving, but it's they won't have cost me very much, which is great on a pensioner's budget, but it'll be the time and the thought that goes into them. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. And then I'll take a couple of those journals and I'll date them, and I'll turn them into the grid dated journals, like a diary for my use. So that's going to be a fun project, and an inexpensive fun project, which is the best kind. Save my money for where I need to spend it on quality stuff. And I was able to get another Lammy Studio secondhand with a gold bib today. So watch out if you want good quality materials for secondhand from trusted sources. It can save you a great deal of money and allow you the pleasure of working on quality materials. Now here I want to comment on the quality of this Oyster Grey Montblanc ink. I'm adding water to it, and while it is still soluble, it's not extremely soluble. It's almost halfway between a normal dye-based ink and a pigment-based ink in the way it is handling, and that is going to be very easy to work with when you add water. So this was Oyster Grey ink by Montblanc, and I hope you'll join me for part 3.